Number 5. Isosceles and equilateral triangles. Number 1. What is the value of x? This is an isosceles triangle. Two sides are congruent. What that means too is that the angles across from them are also congruent to each other. The base angles here are equal in length. So to find x, we got to subtract 66 from 180 because all three of these add up to 180, and then divide by 2. So 180 minus 66 divided by 2 gives you 57. And that's number 1. Number 2, complete the statement and explain why it is true. So WU will be congruent to WY, and that is because the angles across from them are equal to each other. Number 4, find the values of x and y. So let's take a closer look at it. So looking at this, y is going to be equal to 2 because the angles across from them are equal. So y is going to be 2. To find x, we notice that these two sides are equal to each other, so the angles across from them are equal. So that means both of these are going to be 59. Now, to find x, this angle and this angle are both x, and this angle plus these two add up to 180 degrees because it's the interior angles of a triangle. So we add all them up and set it equal to 180. So we get, when we combine like terms, 118 plus 2x equals 180. Subtract 118 from both sides, we get 62. Divide by 2, and we get x is 31. So let's type these in. So x is 31, and y is 2. And that is number 4. Number 5. An equilateral triangle and an isosceles triangle share a common side. What is the measure of angle ABC? So let's take a closer look at it. So the first thing I notice is that all three of these sides are the same. That means all three of these angles are the same. So if you divide 180 by 3, since all the angles are the same, you'll get 60. So each angle is 60 degrees for this one. But to find ABC, I need to find this piece as well. So now, I notice that this here is an isosceles triangle with these two sides being equal. That means these two angles are equal in measure. So this one here would also be 67. Now I could find this piece, the vertex. So what I do is I add these two up and subtract from 180 because three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So doing that gives me 46. Now to find A, B, and C, I add up 46 and 60, and I get 106. So let's type that in. So 106 is number 5. Number 6, each face of a pyramid is an isosceles triangle with a 64-degree vertex angle. What are the measures of the base angles? So let's take a look at it. So drawing an isosceles triangle, 64 degrees is the vertex angle. To find the base angles, I gotta subtract this from 180 and divide by 2 because both of these are the same. So I subtract 64 from 180, which gives me 116, then divided by 2, which gives you 58. So the measure of the base angles are 58, and that's number 6. Number 7, an exterior angle of an isosceles triangle has measure 150 degrees. Find two possible sets of measures for the angles of the triangle. So let's do that. So if the exterior angle of the base is 150, so I drew it here showing the exterior angle of the base. Then we got to find the measure of each base and the measure of the vertex. Well, this angle and the base are linear pairs, so that means they add up to 180. So we subtract 180 from 150, and we get 30. So both of these are 30. Now to find the vertex, you add the 30 and 30 and subtract from 180, which gives you 120. So let's type those in. So the measure of the angle of each base is 30, and the measure of the vertex is 120. Now, if we make the 150 the exterior angle of the vertex, let's see what the measure of the angle of the base and vertex will be. So now, the exterior angle of the vertex is 150. So to find the measure of the vertex, subtract from 180, and we get 30. Now the next part we can do one of two ways. We can either subtract 180 from 30 and divide by 2 because all three of these add up to 180, or if you remember our exterior angle rules, the two remote interior angles add up to the exterior angle. So if these are the same, just divide 150 by 2, which gives you 75. So let's type that in. So the measure of each base is 75, and the measure of the vertex is 30. And that's number 7. Number 8, find the values of m and n. So let's take a closer look at it. So the first thing I would find is angle n. Now we see this is an isosceles triangle right here, meaning these two sides are equal, so these two angles are equal. So we can say this is also n. So now we can add all three up and subtract from 180. So 118 minus 180 is 62, divided by 2 to give you n, which is 31. Now to find m. 118 in this angle is a linear pair, because we want to find these two angles so we can find the third one of m. So subtract 180 from 118, and we get 62. Now to find m, add up 90 plus 62, and subtract it from 180, and we get 28. So let's type it in. So m is 28, and n is 31. And that's number 8.